Ta da da dee da dum ba da da dee da dum ba da da dee ba dum boom beam ba da ba. Restart.
Just, I don't know, in my
Hi, YouTube.
opinion, I think that, I don't know, there's something a little bit childlike about it, a grown man to be playing games, and it is a huge, huge turn off for me, and I'm bloody glad my man doesn't play video games.
I don't have anything meaningful to say about this. I just want to tell her to shut up.
No, is this video a battle of the pick-me's? Oh my god, and me! A third pick-me has been added to the mix, and it is I. I too will add my pick-me input into this. Hi, YouTube. Bruh. You know, you could also say that there's something childish about watching drama television, like the Kardashians and stuff. You could also say there's something childish about that. But women are not ready for that argument.
Hi, my name is Sydney. Welcome back to hell. And as per usual, before we launch in, today's video is sponsored by Nekrolina. And of course, by my company, Lions Tea Exchange.
I don't remember
In
what I was
addition
gonna
to
say.
my regular wonderful flavors, I now have 3 new limited edition flavors that are now available on the site for pre-sale. I think they're all really good, but I am a huge fan of
Peppermint
the
white
peppermint white
chocolate!
But you guys seem to be really excited about the bourbon barrel chai. No surprises there. I also have these beautiful wooden gift boxes that are available too for pre-sale for the holiday season, or just generally if you want a beautiful box. And as you guys know, these are made here in the US of A, and the company that I work with plants a tree for every order placed, which honestly I think is pretty cool. I will link all of this in the description box. If you would like to support my channel and my tea company, it all means a lot, and I love you guys very much. Okay, back to the video. Now, I know I'm slightly late to
I love you guys more. Okay. She might have just said she loves you guys very much, but not as much as me. Okay. Remember that.
this conversation because it took place a couple weeks ago, but a lot of things were also happening during that time. Like the mystery of who is eating the cats.
They're eating the dogs.
What?
The people that came in, they're eating the cats.
And I needed to show you all my breakdancing prowess, okay? Now,
Hello?
like I said, a few
What is
weeks
she
ago,
doing?
the conversation, or the debate, if you will, around men playing video games being unattractive was once again resurrected.
level.
This has been going on for quite some time, but periodically, someone, somewhere, for some reason,
Hi,
brings
Bear!
it back up. And every time this happens, it seems that people want to congregate around the idea that men playing video games is bad, and gaming is bad overall. Say the people who probably like crocheting. Or something. Depressingly, when I started looking for videos on this issue,
New ick unlocked watching my BF play games. Bruh. Chat, do you get the ick from this?
I actually came across this bizarre trend.
Don't bounce on your chair. You know what I'm getting? I'm not getting the ick. I'm getting a panic attack. Because I remember that one episode of 1000 Ways to Die. Yeah, the piston will go into your ass and then you will die, chat. Please, I'm getting anxiety.
On TikTok where women say that they're men being happy while playing games
Don't bounce
gives
on your
them
chair.
the ick. So there's that.
Shut up, kill yourself.
Just launch me to Jupiter at this point. Anyway, this time the conversation started when conservative
Hi.
commentator Liz Wheeler posted a graph of the hobbies women reportedly find the least attractive.
Least attractive hobbies for men according to women. Playing video games. Collecting figurines. Chat, isn't this literally you? Magic tricks? Okay, so your D&D sessions. Online trolling. Oh, okay. Gambling. Oh! Building model trains. Taxidermy. Who? This is literally you, chat. They basically said, what does the average Twitch user do? It took all of your hobbies and we're like, yeah. Fuck those guys on Twitch specifically. We hate them. And YouTube probably. We hate men with hobbies. Ugh. Disgusting. What's taxidermy is such a weird one. How is this I think taxidermy is cool. Because you're like bringing life into something that's dead. I think taxidermy is fascinating. It's really, really cool. And it takes like a gentle hand. It's like figurines and stuff, like people who paint the Warhammer figurines. I think that's also really cool. Anyway, this is silly. This is so... Magic tricks are cool. Online trolling? I mean, it's silly. Okay, I can understand gambling. Because gambling is like an addiction, and that one can actually be bad. Bird? What's wrong? Birds are my second favorite animal. Who did this? Who did this study? Chat, this study sucks. You know what my least attractive hobby is for women? Women who do this, who contribute to this. I like bird watching. I think birds are cute. I like them.
Attractive. At the top of the list was playing video games, followed by collecting figurines, magic tricks, and online trolling. But apparently, we all love a good bird watcher. So that's a win for the birdophiles.
Yeah,
I have absolutely no idea what bird enthusiasts are called.
Birdophiles? I'm black-pilled now.
Birder. Well, at least that's memorable. I guess that's an improvement on what the trained people are called. Hootie tooters?
A birder.
Hooter tooters? This graph, which obviously is not based on real evidence, was posted along with Wheeler's commentary, which read, "This is 100% true. Men playing video games is peak unattractive, beyond red flag, like deal breaker zone. It's weird so many dudes don't get this." You want to know what I don't get?
Liz Wheeler is a bitch.
Why it's taken me so long to hear about the wonderful sponsor of today's video, Manukora. I have spent most of my adult life in search of sugar. I'm kind of like Smeagol from Lord of the Rings. Precious. And the older I get, the more that I realize sugar's not that good for you. But what if I told you there was a sweet alternative that tasted good and was good for you? Well, there is.
That
and
makes
it's called
sense, Satan,
Manukora. Manukora honey is pure, single-origin Manuka honey found only in New Zealand. It's rich, creamy, and supercharged with unique antioxidants and prebiotics.
I mean, this is actually quite
has
interesting,
3 times
isn't it?
more than your average honey. So yeah, take that, normal honey. Manukora honey supports immunity, helps with digestion, boosts energy, and is great for assisting with inflammation. It's also this beautiful golden color, and it's a definite game changer if you're anything like me and use honey in tea or on sandwiches. I also like how my little starter pack has this cute little spoon and these honey sticks, which could be completely cool if you're munching on the go. Best of all, Manukora honey has a natural antibacterial compound called MGO that is only found in Manuka honey. The higher the MGO count, the higher the levels of nutrients and antioxidants.
So does Manuka honey come from Manuka honey bees? And if so, where can I get a Manuka honey bee so I can make my own Manuka honey?
And Manukora has some of the highest MGO
honey gives you
on the
diabetes?
market. And if you don't believe me, your Manukora lid has this little QR code that you can scan to trace your honey and all its unique information, which I think is pretty cool.
You can find where your bees are! Oh my god, chat, become parasocial for your honeybee. Find out where your honeybee lives, find the queen, and steal her.
So if you too want to embrace a good sweet thing, then click the link
Keep
in
her
the
for
description or head
yourself.
over to
That's your queen
manukora.com/Sydney
bee now.
for $25 off when you buy a starter kit.
After
After a huge amount of pushback, Wheeler followed up with a few additional posts, including another tweet where a woman wrote, "Women don't dislike video games because they're geeky.
did.
We dislike them because they're antisocial and consumption-based. Like if
This absolutely is rage bait. I mean, like if a woman said TikTok or online shopping was her hobby. I have never mentioned TikTok in my life. I would never online shop. TikTok is not my personality. Well, I hate TikTok. I don't like online shopping. Hobbies should involve actually doing, making, or learning something. Okay, but technically, like, if you play video games, aren't you doing, making, and learning something? You're doing gaming, you're learning gaming, and you're making memories on the game. Checkmate, Ali!
if a woman said TikTok or online shopping was her hobby. Hobby should include actually doing, making, or learning something. Last time I checked, gaming is doing something? What is this? What am I even reading here? Doubling down even further, Wheeler also
Jesus, Liz Wheeler really going to ChatGPT and feeling the need to write the story of her life over here. Holy Liz Wheeler. Fuck off, Liz Wheeler. I'm gonna block her on Twitter.
That video games are
I'm getting mad.
Consumptive,
why is she writing so much?
Immorality that have serious negative real-world side effects on the men who play them. This tweet was very long, so I'm just gonna summarize the generality of it, which was that video games are net negative on society based on the fact that they reportedly lead to aggressive behavior, mood disorders, and so on and so forth. She also asserts that women are attracted to men based on a man's ability to protect, provide, produce, and procreate. Hobbies that illustrate that ability are attractive to women. Hobbies that do not are not. Not to be a jerk, at least not intentionally, but isn't reading sedentary? And isn't buying random female crap for your house consumptive? Do you want to go and have a conversation with the immoral smut-reading ladies over on Book Talk? Would you like to have
I'm feeling very called out right now. I am an immoral smut-reading lady on TikTok. Oh shit. Oh god. How did they know? They're talking to me specifically. Shit. How did they know? They're tracking me like they track their fucking manuka bees. Damn!
Have a word? I really don't mean to be so sarcastic about all of this. It just really irritates me.
You do, I have to keep up with the last one.
Is the entire live stream
She
that
is looking
Wheeler
at me.
decided to make about this
Nervous.
topic, addressing the blowback that she'd received and saying that lots of people were unkind to her about it and she didn't like that, which honestly, like, yeah, fair enough. This video is really long and she burned through a lot of points very quickly and we don't have time to unpack them.
Wait, she has her own show? The Liz Wheeler Show. Okay, Liz, way to be original with your title. Pfft. Ugh. And her neutral colored atmosphere. Where's your pop of color, Liz? Ugh.
I overall felt really irritated
I'm canceling
watching Wheeler's
her
live stream, and my takeaway was just generally, tell me you've never played video games without telling me you've never played video games. She again brought up that it makes people more
She hates the
desensitized
color
and prone to
pink.
violence because apparently
Cancelled.
we're resurrecting 90s talking points.
Beige and boring. She should change the title from the Liz Wheeler Show to Beige and Boring. Ugh.
I thought we were over this. Look, I don't know Liz personally, and so I don't want anyone to perceive this as me attacking her because she seems like a nice lady. But I do find
She
her
does not.
opinion and
Why is she lying? Liz does not seem like a nice lady. What do you mean? She seems like a mean lady.
opinion
She's
really
periwinkle
frustrating.
too.
I think there's a trend on the right side of politics where some conservatives in particular like to fully reject and stomp on really important cultural and entertainment-based mediums. And even if the intention behind that is a noble one, I still think it comes across as really controlling and fun policing. Listen, even people with daddy issues don't want to be parented this hard. I mean, they do want something hard, but it's not parenting.
Wow. Huh. Oh.
All of this to say, in the long run, I don't think it's very helpful, and I'm sure some of you will disagree with that, and that's okay. Feel free to scream at me in the comments.
No! No!
Anyway, about a week later,
Please don't
another
scream
video
at me.
popped up where a woman called Bex from the radio show 102 Philly was similarly articulating why she doesn't like men playing video games. She said that it was lazy and generally unproductive.
But the whole gaming thing,
What's the problem? Jacqueline has this big problem too. Because
it's just lazy. It feels like unless you're getting paid, and there's a line, right? Like it's cool if you want to do it every so often, but to me, I'm like, go educate, like go do something productive.
But what is the problem? Like, you know, Jacqueline has...
This is like my mom vibes. I won't lie, my mom is literally like this. Some of you might say, oh, this is just like rage bait, but my mom is actually, there are people who actually think like this, and my mom is one of them. Yeah. My mom literally says, yeah.
There's a big problem with it,
Who's
too. Whenever she
Alvin?
hears the PlayStation start up, like, I gotta hear the huffing and puffing.
Yeah.
But if I were to just have TV
so
on...
unproductive, they say. Bish, you spend more time on TikTok than I spend awake in a day.
Are you burning me, Mads? You don't have. Why am I catching strays? Why am I catching strays like this? I didn't say anything wrong. Ooh. So you hate me. So you hate me. Women don't have to like it. I think there has to be a balance, of course. You know? If you do anything too much is a bad thing. If you spend too much time at the office working, it's a bad thing. If you spend too much time on the toilet, it's a bad thing. If you spend too much time laying on the street, it's a bad thing. It's really just like you need to learn the balance.
You'd be on TikTok as it is, not paying attention. So why does it bother you?
Because it's not the distraction
But this man also has a point. Like, how is it your business what other people do?
of me being on TikTok and us watching TV. It's what you could be doing with that time.
There it is, and that's it. I knew it.
It's
I knew
what
it.
you could-
You want it. You
Mine
wanna
isn't.
test us so
No, no, no,
bad.
But I mean other
that you're
people.
so pissed
No,
that we're taking
no,
time
no.
from doing something.
No.
Wait a minute, you're enjoying things? You have time to do this video
see,
game?
here's the thing
Ah,
is-
here's all the things you
But
could be
here's
doing.
the thing, you're in
Like, there are some people who take it to extremes. Like those people who like end up peeing in their chairs and not showering for weeks. But then you could still make the arguments like, oh, if it's making them happy, why do you care? So, I mean, like, yeah. You really can't win with this because it's truly like, it's not your business what other people do. And yeah, true. Yeah.
enjoying it, but you could
It's
also be
my
planning
chair.
something nice for us. You know, like
Like I mentioned, this is
Exactly,
not the
guys.
first time that this type of criticism has come up. A couple years ago,
Howdy.
3 more women got a lot of heat online for making fun of men who game, with one
Yeah, let me pee on the chair too. How are you about to peeing on your chair all alone, handsome? You spread those legs. Let me sit there too. We both peeing together.
the women even suggesting there's a correlation between gaming and the being bad in the bedroom or having small male genitalia.
I'll be honest with you, not if I think of the top 10 best dicks I've ever had, they didn't play video games. So I'm convinced video games are for mediocre
Well,
dicks.
I grew up as a gamer, so it was
I
okay with it. That was quite
don't-
alright with me.
but
I got
I
excited
don't know
too.
what grown man is spending that much time playing video
There's
games.
a lot
that
of grown men spending a lot of time.
And
on
I
this
don't think that
bullshit.
they're
a lot.
I don't think that you could be a great partner or a great lover as a grown man spending time playing video games.
If you're like
The Andrea Tates chat. I present to you the Andrea Tates of the world. Damn. Wow.
This is such a weird statement. Do you always judge the appropriateness of a hobby
mean,
based
yeah.
on men
They
pickles
must
and
not
their
have played any
performance?
sex games. Yeah. They must not have played Orc Massage.
Is this
Or
a
else
legitimate metric?
different
Why
opinion.
are people like this? I mean it. Put me in the canon and launch me to Jupiter. So I have a very vested interest in this topic, both as a woman and as a person who plays video games. So I
Okay.
do feel that it is pretty important to come to the defense of male gamers, and I guess just really any gamer in general.
Massage.
Because if the criticisms that I've so far highlighted in this video
I don't
are
want these
anything to go
women
by,
either.
I think people's perceptions of this industry and those who enjoy games are completely off base. And I think it's generally wild to say that gaming is not a hobby, and if it is, it's one that's overall unattractive to women. Because I would argue, in many, many cases, that is not true. I mean, first and foremost, the
bring a man who is making millions of dollars from playing video games a year, and suddenly playing video games is no longer unattractive to them. I'm just saying.
The gaming industry as a whole has changed dramatically over the last few decades, and video games have accelerated in scale and quality during that time too. Rather than games appealing to a small portion of people, now anyone anywhere can play them, which is why the industry has become so enormous. There are so many different stories being told, so many different ideas being explored, and let's remember,
video games,
that the amount of women playing games has also grown more and is continuing to do so. And no, Animal Crossing and The Sims don't count as gaming. Please stop this. Point being, video games themselves and the gamers who play them come in all forms, and I don't think it's fair to tar everyone.
It's just like if you bring like people with extreme opinions. Like if you bring an interview of Andrew Tate as well, not all people think that way. It's just like a small collective of people, and it's the same with these women as well, chat.
One with the same brush.
Yes,
with
they
that
do.
said,
What?
I do understand.
So you hate me? Oh my, I knew it. Why am I here? Why am I here just to suffer?
Understand why some people, some being the operative word, find gaming to be an unattractive hobby, and I think there's a number of reasons for that. Number one, when most of us millennials were growing up, which is what our friend Liz Wheeler is, we were only really then starting to see sort of a shift in the way that people viewed men and video games. Until this point, I think it's fair to say that gamers were largely associated with the basement-dwelling dorks who played World of Warcraft.
Listen, nowadays, basement dwelling is not an insult because everything is so goddamn expensive. Staying at home with your parents is actually smart in order to save money so that you can move out in the future. Chad, don't be ashamed if you still live at home with your parents. Honestly, don't let these people make you feel bad because it's smarter that way. You're saving money, okay? Don't feel bad for that. It's back in the day, people bought houses for like $80,000. Now, that same $80,000 house is what, like $400K? Don't feel bad, chat. Don't feel bad. Working 12 hours per day is better for saving money. Yeah, but if you're working 12 hours a day and you're living, if all of your money goes towards your rent, then you're not really saving. What if you work 12 hours a day and you stayed in the basement? What about both? Then you save a lot.
Craft from dawn until dusk. And whether that view is true or not, whether it's fair or not, that's what was portrayed predominantly in media, entertainment, and by all the kids, all those boys that we went to high school with. I can actually testify to this because I fully remember my older brother sitting in the office all day playing WoW and sometimes painting Warhammer. I think he still paints Warhammer. To be completely fair to my brother, because, you know, he will probably watch this video, he is in fact the reason why I like gaming at all. And I also remember sitting next to him watching him.
How cozy was that little setup?
Little sister. Now that I'm thinking about it, I also remember his LAN parties with his nerd friends. So really love aging myself there. Anyway, this type of visual and this messaging has definitely been ingrained in a lot of us because it's also what we were exposed in pop culture. And it's probably why a bunch of elder millennials and people who are older than elder millennials, especially, view gamers through this lens. Actually, hilariously,
I've never gone to a
for
LAN party.
this video, I found out that the attractiveness of male gamers and how much they game is still being studied because they guess this is a stereotype that never dies. The second reason, and I think this is more applicable across the board, is it is unattractive to come home to your man sitting on his butt all day playing video games. On the weekends, gaming. All day, gaming. Every single weekend, gaming. Can't pull himself away for long enough to spend time with you or to be a father or a husband or whatever.
But that's when you have that conversation like, hey, please spend time with me. Hey, I'm lonely. Please spend time. You know, that's, I think,
comes an addiction
that's when
that
you
consumes
communicate.
you. Yes, That is a problem, and that is unattractive. And this is the primary criticism that I find online when it comes to men and video games.
When my husband
you
and I
could
first
game
got married,
together.
he was addicted to video games. So if your spouse is addicted to video games or sports or anything, listen to this.
But the thing is, if your man or a man doesn't have a gaming addiction, then what precisely is unattractive about this interest? At least in my experience, the women that I have come into contact with or that I'm friends with or that are in my family and whatever
As you should, Choni.
don't really view a man's interest in video games as a good or bad thing. What's most important is how he balances his gaming with his life and its many obligations. For example, back in 2020, a
Overwatch
TikToker
cringe,
called
I
Alyssa
know.
Nguyen actually had to come out and clarify that her gamer husband did indeed take care of her and her kids after she began uploading compilations of her bringing him his nightly dinners. She wrote, he does
those
all his
dinners looked
chores,
good,
daddy
man.
duties, and husband
I missed
duties
her.
before
Hi.
getting on. One person even asked Nguyen if she was happy with the amount of time her husband gamed. Nguyen responded, "It doesn't bother me at all. He plays a couple hours a night after he gets home from a long shift."
See, this is a healthy relationship. Like, you've communicated with each other, you make him food, he de-stresses from playing games. Nice. Mutual understanding.
And honestly, I think this comment crystallizes
Yeah.
a broader point. A lot of people, not only men, use video games as a way to
Tell me
alleviate
these two-
anxiety,
Why?
to
Why did Reddit say
decompress,
that?
to de-stress after a
I
long
missed
day
it.
or a long week or whatever the case may be. And I can actually personally relate to this, and I've actually said this in other videos, where I find nothing more enjoyable after a particularly stressful day than jumping into whatever game I'm playing and just like hacking monsters to death, because it's cathartic and it stops me from committing.
Video games are like a form of escapism as well, chat. A lot of people play video games to escape their everyday life, and I think that's also something important. Yeah. It's the same as like if you read books or whatever, like hanging out with your friends. I mean, when you play games, you're also hanging out with friends. So, yeah, I think, yeah.
Committing murder.
You
That
feel
is a
me?
joke,
Yeah.
Mr. FBI man. I am making a joke. Side, in addition to being cathartic, it is a good form of
moderation.
escapism. I watched one particular TikTok where a guy was describing escapism in video games as a bad thing, using it as an indicator of depression or a person who hates their life, and that very well might be the case sometimes. This just reiterates that men yearn for the mines. But again, why do people frown on this type of escapism, but not when it comes in the form of books or films or television shows? I genuinely feel like there's such an unfair double standard when it comes to gaming that isn't equally applied to other entertainment mediums. Yeah, I'm gonna need you all to stop that. In my opinion, the bottom line here is that gaming is, in fact, a legitimate hobby. And I will argue—
Or like people who go golf. You know, that's a form of escapism as well. Like boomers who go golfing for hours with their friends and then they come home and yell at their son for playing games, or their daughter. You know what I mean? It's like, why though? Why though? My mom always got mad at me for playing games, even to this day. She's like, "You're not spending all your time playing games, are you?" I am!
you till I am blue in the face with whoever I need to argue with, that many of us ladies would much rather a guy who games in moderation than one who is down at the bar or at the club every single weekend getting drunk. If you are—
I wouldn't dare yell at my mom. No way, Jose.
And you enjoy video games, that does not make you unattractive. And frankly, it can actually be a really nice opportunity for bonding with your spouse or girlfriend. And I say this as someone who freaking loves couch co-ops. Like, I recently played the Untitled Goose Game, and it was unironically a lot of fun. I have to stay away from the platformers, though, because I just let everyone down. People who make the claim that gaming is antisocial and will turn men into murder factories genuinely don't seem to understand the nature of gaming and how community-based and collaborative it often is these days. A lot of modern games have a ton of multiplayer features, and it allows you to do, like, you know, the teamwork.
I've never played the
In a time where
Goose
people
game.
are super disconnected, the gaming world is actually pretty great at helping people make friends and create communities. I'll say as well that there are apparently a bunch of other measurable benefits to playing games, like improvements to cognitive functioning, problem solving, impulse control, and so on and so forth, but I don't want to get into it, so I don't know, I guess...
Oh, absolutely. Let me tell you about orc massage. Totally great for problem solving and cognitive performance.
I'll link some of these in the description and you can read them in your own time.
Yeah.
There are definitely way more things to add about this specific topic.
I've
but
never
the
played
one
orc
that I wanna
massage,
leave
by
you
the
with,
way.
The last thought that I
I've
have
never
here
played it.
is that I definitely think that there is an online trend where people can't stand to see men doing things that make them happy.
Men have video games and sports. What do women have?
I actually see this a lot on Twitter, but
why don't women also have video games and sports? Oh, why do they have to tie things to like a gender? I never understand this, bruh.
With relation to women, where people will post a video of women just doing something fun and silly and goofy and enjoying themselves, and then this onslaught of comments and responses are mad that the women are having fun. I see that a lot here with this issue, and I absolutely hate it when people do it to both of the sexes. Just shh. Let people enjoy things. Personally, I'm really glad that gaming has become such a positive outlet for so many people. And as far as unattractive interests go, I think it's worth remembering that when it comes to hobbies and relationships, any hobby can become an obstacle, much in the same way that it can also be an asset. If you enjoy something or have a hobby or have a special interest that gets in between you and somebody else, or it is an all-consuming thing that pushes everybody out of your life, well, yeah, I mean, that's a problem. But if you can take an interest or a hobby or a thing that you love and share it with somebody else in an engaging way, or in a way for yourself that passes time but doesn't fill it, I think that's really positive, and honestly, I think that's really all any of us actually want. In the end, if gaming is a thing that you can share with your wife or girlfriend, a thing that you can use to decompress or even...
Exactly, yeah, and the thing is that it works because when you put out something so, like Liz Wheeler's tweet, I can't even speak anymore, that was like, grr, death to male gamers, grr. That brings attention at the end of the day. And I think, especially on Twitter, you get money from impressions. So homegirl Liz is just making money off of throwing out crazy statements.